Hey guys, what's up? Before you get into this video, I just want you to know right off the bat that this is not a video to bash any one particular company, or it's not to bash any one particular employee of a company. I just want to know from my subscribers and from people viewing this video, what would you do if you were in my situation? That's what I'm looking for in this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, is this working? Is this working? I think it's working. All right, I got my coffee here this morning. I might need a beer instead of coffee. But anyway, guys, welcome back to DIY Mitch's Garage. I finally have some car content for you instead of Alaska content, vacation content, and cruising content. All right, so we finally got all the cruising stuff over with. We got vacation out of the way. I hope you guys have enjoyed my vacation videos of Alaska. I really enjoyed Alaska. It was a great trip. It's definitely one of those bucket list items. I really highly recommend everybody doing an Alaska trip, and cruising is the best way to do it because some of those ports, some of those towns you can only access by the water or by air. All right, so let's get right back in the swing of things. We're back at work, we're back home, we're back doing car stuff, we're doing garage stuff, we're doing stuff around the house, DIY stuff. So I'm gonna try to bring you some good content on DIY Mitch's Garage. Unfortunately, this is one of those videos I really do not want to make, but I feel like it's something I should do for the community to give you guys an idea what's going on. So I came back home from vacation, and there's one thing that I've always wanted to do to my cars that I've never done in my entire life. And that is installing window tint on my Tesla and on the Hellcat. Because let's face it, guys, these cars from the factory are nothing but straight up fish bowls. I mean, you look at the car, you see nothing but fish bowl. Windows aren't tinted. These cars look awful without tint. The one reason why I have not done tint in so long is because the laws, just because the state I live in, North Carolina, has very strict rules. I'm going to call it rules and laws for window tint on vehicles, especially sedans and cars. It seems like they're a little more lax on trucks and SUVs because, you know, trucks and SUVs come from the factory with tint in the back and all that kind of stuff. But sedans, manufacturers do not put tint on cars because of varying state laws. Well, North Carolina just changed, and I'm going to say rules, okay? It's a rule. They didn't change the law, but they changed the rule for how cars will be inspected in starting December 1st. You can fact check me, December 1st, 2025, but actually I think it's going to be 2026. But in North Carolina, you had to get your window tint. If you had any window tint on your vehicle, you had to pay extra for the inspection. I think it was like $10. They stick a meter on your window tint, and if you were under 35%, boom, no bueno. They would fail your inspection. So you'd have to go back to the tint shop, get the tint pulled off, get lighter tint put on. It really made it apprehensive for a lot of people in North Carolina to do window tint. So now that the rule has changed for inspections, even though it's still legal to go below 35%, unless you have a medical waiver, which I'm going to get a medical waiver for my vision. I have a lot of vision issues, so there's no issues there. I believe I can go down to 25%. So I really wanted to do the window tinting thing, and I wanted to start with the Tesla. Again, let's face it, it's a fishbowl. It's a beautiful car, but without tint, it's ugly. Let's face it, it's an ugly car because it looks like a fishbowl. One reason why I never did on the Hellcat is because I didn't want to give North Carolina's finest a reason to pull me over in the Hellcat, you know, for obvious reasons, right? So I wanted to do the Tesla first. So this is where my story takes a turn for the worst. And I mean, I was so looking forward to getting tint on this Tesla, guys. You have no idea. Because of all the vehicles I've owned in my entire life, I have never ever gotten tint done. I mean, when I was a teenager and I had a Mustang GT 5.0 as a teenager, I played with putting tint on it myself from Walmart. yeah, that, I mean, let's face it, that was back in the 80s. And, you know, it looked cool for a teenager and all, but, you know, it wasn't even dark tan. It was just something to say I did it, you know, right? But let's face it, when you got a nice car like this, you want to have the professionals do it right. So I decided to go talk to a professional and get their opinion on what I should do with tint for my Tesla. So I'm gonna warn you guys, this is where the video goes really bad, and I really hate it because it's something I really want to do so bad. But I went to Turbo Tint in Cary, North Carolina. It's really close to Apex, Cary and Apex. I went in there this past Saturday, and I'm not gonna give you guys any names. There's no sense in giving you names, right? I went in and talked to a guy there, and I said, look, this is what I want to do. I even took my son, and I don't know if you guys follow my channel. Y'all probably seen my son in some of my videos. He's got a Mustang GT 5.0. You know, of course, we're car people. That's why it's DIY, Mitch's Garage, right? So anyway, back to the story. Went in, talked to the guy. I said, look, I've never done tint. I want to do tint. This is what I want to do. And he suggested some things, and, you know, we talked about a few things, and he gave me a really good warm and fuzzy about going and getting my Tesla tinted, especially being a Tesla. You know, I mean, these things are they're odd, right? So you want to make sure you take it to a place who can do Teslas. So we talked for a little bit, and he was going to get me to go ahead and make an appointment back on Saturday. And I said, well, no, I'm not really ready to make an appointment. Me and my son are going to think about it, right? And then we'll do the order online thing. He said, that's great. He said, order it online and make an appointment. That is the best way we have our customers, our clients, do our scheduling, you know, or reserve a spot online. That's the way they do their business. They said that's the best way to do their business. So, I mean, look, it's 2025. If your business does not have a good online way to make appointments and schedule things and make payments for stuff, you're just, man, you're in the old days. You know, you're way behind technology, right? So, came home, me and my son thought about it. I think my son's going to wait on his Mustang. I decided to go ahead and do my Tesla. So I went online to turbotint.com of Cary. I made an appointment. I got an appointment confirmation. Not only that, I got an email with the date and the appointment that I selected on their online scheduler or their online calendar. And so let's fast forward a few days. So I was going to get it done Tuesday. They didn't have any openings Tuesday based on their online calendar. The next available time was Wednesday morning at 8:30. So made the appointment, paid the money. And this, guys, this is where it really it goes bad for me. Okay. So get up early this morning. I was excited. I took off work, and I headed over to Turbo Tint of Cary. And pull in, I see this other couple with a Tesla, so that kind of gave me another warm and fuzzy. Oh, there's another Tesla here, right? There's another Tesla, so they must do a lot of Teslas, right? So as they were coming out, you know, I said, hey, how you doing? Everything's good. And I walked in, there's like no one there, like no workers, no nothing. So there was a guy in the back. I had to like kind of shuffle my book bag, you know, my backpack around, and finally get the guy's attention. So he come up, and I'm like, yeah, I have an appointment for 8:30 this morning. And he has this guy had the look on his face.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Of like total horror. I mean, his eyes got big, and he was looking at me like, dude, you're crazy. And I'm like, he's like, okay, let me go check the computer. So he goes back, checks his computer, comes back behind the counter. He's like, we don't have a reservation for you. What's your name again? So I give him my name, and then I pulled up the email for my appointment, and I showed it to him. He's like, yeah, you're right. You do have an appointment. And then he goes, I'm the only one here. And I was like, okay. I'm like, can you do the tint today? He's like, well, I think I can fit you in today. So, of course, I mean, I was already kind of set back by the whole situation, and I had already made my mind up that if, look, these guys were not prepared for me, there's no way I'm gonna have them touch my Tesla today. There's just no bueno. That's not gonna work. Because if you guys know me, follow my channel, I like nice stuff. I like having nice things, and I want things done right the first time. So I pretty much cut my losses, and I've already thinking to myself, no, I'm going to just go. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to see. Hang on, someone's calling.
A few moments later.
Oh, all right, guys. So I was just talking about the tent place. Well, that was the manager of the tent place that was calling me. Okay, so y'all caught the most of that. Basically, I got there. They didn't have an appointment for me, and their system they didn't have an appointment for me, and their system was screwed up. Yada yada yada, whatever. So that was the manager calling me back from Turbo Tint. Okay, this was the offer he was willing to provide me for my troubles. Okay, so I was going to get the side windows tinted, the back window partially tinted, and that was like $450 plus tax. So, oh, and by the way, I paid the money up front, so they've got my money. So they already have all my money. When you do it online there, they take all your money. I mean, boom, gone. So they've had my money now for 4 days, 5 days, whatever. It's Wednesday. So his offer to me was, he was very apologetic. So I really appreciate that. The dude was sincerely apologetic. So I will definitely give him that. But the solution is to give me the full back window and then the sides for $450 plus tax. But here's the kicker. Even though I had an appointment for today, which that appointment is done. Like, no, you can't even have no remotely close to today. They will not be able to get me in until another week, like next Wednesday. I have no idea. Well, I kind of know what I'm doing next Wednesday, but it's like I can't just drop everything I'm doing. I had to actually change my schedule around, my calendar around for today, which I'm going to do that again next Wednesday, if I do decide to go next Wednesday. So anyway, man, I'm in a plight. I mean, I don't know what to do. What would you guys do if y'all had this same situation or a similar situation where you've already paid the money, you made an appointment, and things didn't work out. You got there and you didn't have an appointment. I mean, I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to do. And I still don't, honestly, I don't feel like he's given me more for the money, but then I have to wait another week. So what it almost sounds like to me is they were so booked up this week, and their system was just, whatever. Their online system was so screwed up. It didn't know what it was doing appointments, and they're literally so busy they can't get me in for another week. I mean, the way I look at it is, if they're so busy they cannot get me in for another week to correct the situation that they did today when I took off today for it, then they don't need my business. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. There are other tent places in my area. Matter of fact, there's a lot of tent places in my area. But after this, will I even go through window tint? Just already being apprehensive about the whole situation, just being apprehensive about, the inspections, worrying about getting pulled over just because I have a little bit of tint on my car. It's like there's so many things at play here that may just make me not want to do it, period, after this experience. So anyway, guys, sorry for the rants. I don't want to make these videos where there's something bad going on with my situation or whatever, but I'm really looking for help from you guys. What would y'all do? I mean, really, what would y'all do in this situation? Would you go back to crawling back to that place and, let the guy do the tint, and I don't even know if they'll do a good job now. It's like, they know I'm already upset about the situation. Would you even go there and just try to find somewhere else? I mean, do you guys know anywhere else in the Cary, Apex, Raleigh, Garner area. I don't want to go Durham, Chapel Hill, but do y'all know a good tent place in this area? If y'all know a good tent place, leave me a comment down below. Somebody let me know, where should I go to get my Tesla and eventually my Hellcat and my son's car and maybe something else tinted. I mean, this place, they could lose like 4 or 5 of my cars. I mean, just 4 or 5 cars just by one person. Or if they can't make this right, they could lose a whole lot more from a video. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below. Sorry for the rant. I hate to make these videos. It seems like an opportunity meets itself to make a video, and this is a good one. This is back to car stuff. This is back to what I love doing. This is my thing. This is DIY Mitch's Garage, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.